Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today I'm going to be going over 5 bold predictions I have for the Houston Texans Week 5 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, as the Houston Texans are traveling to Atlanta to face on Bijan Robinson and the Atlanta Falcons. This is a matchup I've been waiting for since the season's, since the regular season schedule was dropped. I'm a big Bijan fan, and it's going to be hard as a Texans fan to root for him to do bad this week. But unfortunately, as a Longhorns fan, I'm going to have to root for Bijan to do terrible against my Texans this week. Watching Bijan as a Longhorns fan was so fun. I watched Texas Longhorns football before he was there. I started watching Texas Longhorns football, I believe, 2016, 2017. He was not even close to, being a Longhorn yet. His first year might have been in, 2020, something like that. Might have been. No, I think his first year might have been 2019, 2020. I believe it's 2019 was his first year in Texas, but I don't think he really became, big for the Longhorns until, 2020 or 2021. But he made Longhorns football fun, even though this team... I never witnessed when he was on the roster. I never witnessed them go to a Big 12 championship. Never witnessed them make it to the college football playoffs. Which it's sad that now that Bijan's gone, he's in the NFL. He got drafted to the Falcons. It's looking like the Texas Longhorns might be doing that this year. And they're the number 3 in the country, and they're one of the favorites to win the national championship this year. They have a big game against Oklahoma this week. All right, enough to college football talk. I love Bijan, but I'm going to have to go against him this week, with it being my Houston Texans. I'm excited to match up against him, though. I think matching up against Bijan Robinson will be a challenge for this Texans defense. I don't think it's something we can't handle. We've been decent at stopping the run this year. We've given up a lot of touchdowns to the run, but yards have gone down for the Texans compared to last year. Texans did a good job of stopping Najee Harris last week. Week 2, they didn't do a great job of stopping Zach Moss, and I wouldn't say week 3 we did a great job of stopping Travis Etienne either, because he had 16 carries for 89 rushing yards and a touchdown. Week 1, we didn't. I wouldn't say we really stopped the Ravens' run game, because they didn't really have a run game to run. We did a good job stopping Lamar. But J.K. Dobbins got hurt. They didn't really have a running back after that. So this run defense has been solid. They were able to hold their ground against Najee last week. They did solid against Zach Moss. And I honestly, I know the Texans blew the crap out of the Jaguars, but the Texans could not really stop Travis Etienne because he had 16 carries for 88 rushing yards. But that's okay. Texans won that game. So I at the running back position so far, I think this Bijan Robinson matchup will be the biggest matchup by far that the Texans have faced at the running back position this year to start out the season. But yeah, getting into what I think is going to happen in this game. Let's go into bold predictions. I'm going to start off with some defensive players. Jalen Petrie. I think Jalen Petrie gets his first interception this season. It wouldn't surprise me if the Texans scoop up 2 interceptions in this game. Desmond Ridder recently has found a little bit of an interception habit, which is something he really didn't do early on in his career. But Desmond Ridder, it has been shown, and if you look at when he plays at home and the road, Desmond Ridder has more confidence and plays better when he's at home compared to the road. So I do have Ridder throwing one to this Texans defense tomorrow, but I will say that I do think that it's only going to be one. I would say that I think the Texans scoop up 2 interceptions, but Ridder seems to be a little bit of a better quarterback when they play at home for some reason. I think the Texans only get 1 interception, and that is Jalen Petrie. But I think the Texans are going to scoop up 1 interception. I think it's going to either be Jalen Petrie or Jimmy Ward. I'm pretty sure it will be Jalen Petrie, though, for the Houston Texans. All right. This next one's defense, this next bold prediction, but it's our star defensive end. I think that's Will Anderson Jr. So far in his NFL career, only has 1 sack. His 1 sack came in the first game against the Ravens. Has not had a sack since then. I'm going to go ahead with a prediction here. Will Anderson Jr. for the Houston Texans will get 2 sacks tomorrow on the quarterback Desmond Ridder. So I see Will Anderson having a hell of a day. I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Grenard does the same. I have Will Anderson Jr. getting 3 tackles for loss, which would be 2 sacks, and another tackle for loss on a running back or whatever or whoever else, and 2 sacks as well for Will Anderson Jr., which would be his best game in the NFL so far. So that is a big prediction for Will Anderson Jr. As of for C.J. Stroud, I have C.J. Stroud throwing 245 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. I want to go ahead and say this is the game where Stroud throws his first interception, with them having a solid secondary, them having a guy in the backfield like Jesse Bates. But I'm going to go ahead and say C.J. Stroud goes another game without throwing an interception. But honestly, Texans fans, wouldn't surprise me if C.J. Stroud's interception streak ended here, facing a solid secondary and being on the road. But I'm going to go ahead and say Stroud goes another game without throwing an interception. So then into my fourth bold predictions, I have a couple first touchdowns for the Houston Texans. I have Robert Woods snagging his first touchdown as a Houston Texan, with C.J. Stroud throwing his first touchdown on a touchdown pass to Robert Woods. And that wouldn't be his first career touchdown because Robert Woods is a veteran. But this next player I have getting a touchdown would be their first career touchdown. I have C.J. Stroud throwing a touchdown pass for John Mechie. If that happens, which I really feel like this is John Mechie's week to get his first touchdown, could be a right play in the the Texans, they've had some weird plays. Brevin Jordan has a touchdown so far. It wouldn't surprise me if John Mechie does, but it would be a great moment. Coming back from leukemia, getting that first touchdown would be a great moment, and a little sad for John Mechie. Not like sad, but like happy sad, and I think it would be a great moment. It might be an emotional moment for him and his family and his supporters. So I think that this will be the week for John Mechie to get his first touchdown in the NFL from a touchdown pass to C.J. Stroud. And I have to specify because Bobby Slowick sometimes wants to do some trickeroos with Devin Singletary. I got to specify who's throwing that ball to John Mechie on the touchdown pass. And then for that final touchdown, I have C.J. Stroud getting his first career rushing touchdown. Nearly had it last week. My opinion, I kind of thought that he did break the plane to get the end zone. I don't really care because the Texans ended up scoring on that drive anyways. It was a touchdown pass to Nico Collins. I'm actually happy C.J. Stroud didn't score in that play. They called it back because I like touchdown passes more than I do touchdown runs, and I love Nico Collins, and he deserves all the credit he did, and he had a great game, and a 2-touchdown game for Nico Collins sounds better than a 1-touchdown game. So not going to lie, I'm not disappointed C.J. Stroud didn't get that first rushing touchdown last week because it ultimately ended up with a Nico receiving touchdown. But I think C.J. Stroud gets his first rushing touchdown this week. And as of for my 5th and final bold prediction, the Texans win their 3rd straight game. The last time the Texans won 3 straight games was in 2018 when the Houston Texans went on a 9-game winning streak after starting out the season 0-3. You guys remember when Deshaun Watson in his 2nd season started the season out 0-3, and everybody were saying the Texans were disappointments, and then they won 9 straight games. That was the last time the Texans won 3 games in a row. But last time the Texans won 3 games in a row, it was 3 sets of 3s. I don't think the Texans can win 9 in a row again, but I think the Texans will win their 3rd straight game. I have the final score being 29-17, the Houston Texans winning over the Atlanta Falcons. I think the biggest test for this Texans team is going to be stopping the run and stopping Bijan Robinson. And this being a home game for Atlanta as well, which they've been pretty successful at home, not only this season, but in the past. So, I'm excited. I think the Texans get a win, but it wouldn't surprise me if Atlanta sneaks the win out and beat the Texans, but I don't see it happening. I think the Texans win 29-17. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed them, your thoughts, and peace out. Go Texans.